Well, hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. What I've got for you today is just some notes that I put together recently on how to become a better player. And, that's a pretty open ended uh, how to statement, right? How to become a better player. And it could mean a lot of different things, right? It could be that you're working on your entire game, right? You're working on just the mental part of your game. Maybe you're working on some stroke technique. Maybe you're working on, I don't know what, maybe some tactics and strategies. But the reality is that when we play, there's really three things that we need to do if we really want to become a better player. And what does that mean, becoming a better player? Well, it could mean that you're just simply more consistent as a shot maker, right? So, what I want to do is I want to quickly go through these three things. And then, look, if you want to copy these notes, happy to send it to you in the form of a PDF file. Just let me know, Brent at webtennis.com. So, look, the first thing is, the three keys for becoming a better player. And this is an ongoing process that requires lots of experiences. And experiences are what? Well, they're, what do we do in practice, right? We have practice points, sets, matches. We go out and play a tournament. Maybe we go out and play a league match, or maybe it's just a fun practice match, whatever it is. But the more that you've got those experiences under your belt, the potential for becoming a better player, goes up. Anyone who's trying to tell you, hey, if you're playing once a week, I've got a tip for you that'll make you a better player if you're playing just once a week. That's just not ever going to happen, right? I mean, you've got to play. You got to play a lot to be able to make these things happen. So, look, the next part here is clarity, conviction, and adjustment, which we'll get into in finer detail, are based on two things: what you're naturally good at and or mastered via practice, and what your opponent doesn't want you to give them, right? I mean, it might be that you're really good at something just naturally, instinctively, right? But if that good thing, that natural good thing you've got, feeds into an opponent's strength, maybe not so great, right? So part of this is knowing what you're good at, knowing maybe what you're not good at, and what do you need some practice time shoring up so that it's not really a weakness. And then being able to evaluate, well, what does your opponent not want you to give them? That's one of the biggest strategies of all time that I've discovered that works. Rather than thinking about me, about what I want to do, why don't I think about what they over there don't want me to give them? And once you start understanding that concept of tactics, now all of a sudden, really good things can happen in terms of making it easier for you to win matches in general, or being able to make adjustments during a match against an unknown opponent. So, look, number one is going to be shot choice clarity. Clarity being, kind of the magic word here, and that is when an opponent hits a shot to you, rather than going through a laundry list of shot choices. Well, geez, I could go up the line, I could go right back at him, I could go cross court, I could play a dropper here, I could kind of play a roller over there. Blah blah blah. I mean, there's so many potential shot choices. And that's a big deal in terms of if you've got too many shot choice potential, right? You never really commit to number two. And so really what I want you to start doing is start thinking about, well, what's your initial shot choice that comes to your mind when a ball's hit to you? And whatever that is, just go with it. Just have the clarity of that's the first thing that came into my mind, and that's what I'm going to go with. And look, if that ends up being the wrong shot choice, either because you're just not that good at it, number one, or number two, that's what your opponent wants you to hit. Well, we'll go ahead and make that adjustment at the end of the point, or maybe even during the point. But clarity is super important in terms of eliminating all the different potential shot choices. And my recommendation to you is just go with the first choice that comes into your mind. So look, shot choice clarity is about target, right? And target is made up of direction, of height, of depth, of spin, and then your eventual court positioning. Where are you on the court when you're about to execute this shot choice, right? You may hit a great looking ball that ends up putting you in trouble in terms of robbing you of time because of where you are in the court. So look, the goal, as I said, the goal is to whittle down the potential number of shot choices so that you can create clarity. Okay. The more you play experiences, the faster you acquire initial shot choice clarity, only if you don't have a huge emotional response, positive or negative, after the point. And look, I see this all the time. I see really good players, and I'm still guilty of this. I used to be guilty of it darn near 100% of the time. And after watching, observing the top players, that they don't do what I was doing, I finally figured out, well, maybe I should try that. And what that thing is that at the end of the point is just an amazing opportunity to learn. And this is where improvement really happens, right? I mean, improvement is about learning. And if you don't learn things either in practice or if you don't learn things in these match play experiences, how are you going to get better? You're not. So there's got to be a component in here, some part where you get an opportunity to learn. And typically at the end of the point, if you've played the best running up the line forehand of your life and you don't go into the come on baby thing, and just, yeah, you can have a nice little positive, slightly emotional thing where you go, yeah. But that, if it becomes too much of a positive emotion, or if it becomes too much of a negative emotion where you just chunk the easiest ball of all time, then the learning stops. And if you don't have an opportunity to learn, or if you don't take the opportunity to learn, you're never going to be I don't care how great a shot clarity you've got, it's just not going to happen, right? Okay. So look, number 2 is going to be shot choice conviction, right? You've already got clarity on what shot you want to hit. Now what you've got to be able to do is be totally convicted to it and totally committed to executing without thinking about how to do it. And a lot of that is just trusting your subconscious that it knows how to manufacture technique subconsciously, right? Than trying to do it consciously. And so you're going to build confidence through experiences for an unwavering commitment to your shot choice clarity. And this is a big deal. Look, I mean, the whole peaking response, right? PEEKING, right? Where you sort of take a sneak peek out in the landscape before you make contact. Look, you've got great shot clarity. You've decided I'm taking this ball right back at my opponent. All right, that's great. And you're totally convicted to whatever it takes to be able to execute that shot. Great. But if you take a sneak peek out there before you've hit it, meaning that you're not 100% sure that you can pull this shot off, or you're not 100% sure of where your opponent might be as just before you make contact, you're not totally convicted, right? You're not totally committed to executing that shot anytime you take a sneak peek, right? So you've got to learn how to, lack of a better term, is kind of the look of Fed, right? How Roger Federer, we all see it, keeps his head down, his eyes at contact, and doesn't take a look out there in the landscape until the very end of his stroke, right? So that's number 2. And then point number 3, key number 3, shot choice adjustment. Look, during the point, you've got great clarity, right? You chose to go cross court, right? And you were totally committed, totally convicted to that shot. Terrific. But what you found out is that, for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter why, you were a little too close to the top of the net, or maybe you were a little bit too close to the sideline over there, right? And you realize that there's that thing that goes, man, I'm flirting with danger here, right? Too close to the net, too close to the sideline. So you make a minor adjustment even during the point, that if you get another opportunity to play that topspin forehand cross court, that you've decided, I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to bring it in a little bit, more towards the center, so I'm not flirting with the sideline. And that's just an adjustment in terms of height over the net, in terms of being more inside the sideline without thinking about how to actually do it. You're just naturally going to adjust your target. And so look, as I said, you may do that during the point, or you may have to do it at the end of the point, right? There's could be a whole host of different adjustments that you make at the end of the point. And again, what I love, and I got this from Daniel Coyle in his great book about the talent code, is that when you do something that you didn't really intend to do or you didn't want to do, what I meant to do instead was, and you just tell yourself, well, what I meant to do instead was I meant to go higher over the net. What I meant to do instead was I meant to bring it more inside the sideline. Well, what I meant to do instead was to take it right back at my opponent, whatever it is. But use the end of the point as a learning opportunity. And so when you respond too emotionally at the end of the point, you stop the learning. I see it all the time. I do it. I have to fight it from time to time. But you know what? In practice is really when I get the opportunity to practice just that. Not thinking about technique. I'm not thinking about shot choice clarity. I'm not thinking about conviction. All I'm working on, all I'm practicing is what's my emotional response at the end of the point, right? Look, hit a great shot. All right. Have a little bit of a, inside, said, all right, nice, good. But don't make it so much that that you shut down that learning opportunity. And certainly if you miss a ball that you make 99 out of 100 times, use it as an opportunity to learn so that you make it 100 out of 100 times. And look, I this weekend played some doubles, a good friend of mine, and he kept missing this kind of easy, this is doubles, an easy forehand volley, right? And the response was a negative response. Oh my gosh, partner, sorry, I've got to put that ball away, which is really kind of a deflecting of, how do I miss this easy forehand volley? Use that moment as an opportunity to learn, which is, well, maybe I should be thinking differently. Hey, this is not always a put away opportunity. Just because you get an easy ball there when you're up at net and doubles, and look, the middle looks wide open, doesn't mean that as you're hitting it, one of your opponents can guess where you're about to hit it and go there and intercept it, right? Or be able to handle it, whatever. So in that situation, it becomes more of, I just got to make the shot, right? And if you make the shot, the chances go way up that you in singles or you guys in doubles are going to win the point. So look, guys, if you want to copy these notes, let me know. I'm happy to send it to you in a PDF format. Just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. If you've got any comments, any questions, would love to read them and respond down below in the comments area. Or if you want to keep private, again, brent@webtennis.com. So guys, that is it for me today. I'm looking forward to a light little hit this morning with a big O at around 9 o'clock, and then getting out there with the great coach, Mark Vines, later this morning, work on a few things. Anyway, hope you're doing well today. And yeah, it's time for all of us. We got to get out there, help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, see you again next time. Well, hey, it is Brent back here with you. And yeah, if you're still trying to figure out your one-handed backhand slice, your underspin drive, right, where it's not floating and sitting up for your opponent, then what I've got for you is a course I want you to check out below. There is a link down below in the description area that will take you to an information page, because there's really 3 habits that we've got to have on this backhand slice, especially for something like this where we just saw it, where you're taken out wide and maybe you want to play a little dropper off of it. Here are a couple of points from a match I played a while ago. And look, if you think you always have to topspin a backhand passing shot, you don't. And here are a couple examples of how you can actually play a really controlled slice underneath your opponent and and be good. So look, if you want some help with the slice backhand, down below, there's a link. Click it, and it'll take you to an information page, and you get a lot more details on what's in the course. And there are several bonus courses in the package as well. Any questions, Brent at webtennis.com.